afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Nice to see ya. My name is Dan, and welcome to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing and maybe hit that like button after you watch the video if you liked it. To give me a little support. Boy, I sure need it. Well, we're back on today, and we're going to talk more about that golden chip. Because, you know, there's an awful lot to say about a golden chip. First of all, no one's ever known about a golden chip before, as long as the Earth's been around, as far as I know. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Well, I did hear about it mentioned in a book called the Atharva Veda, which is one of the early Vedic texts, and it does mention a golden chip in the beginning of the book. And it says the golden chip and its passengers brought some kind of healing herb. Gee, I wonder what that could be to the population. Well, it became famous for the healing herb. Yeah, probably weed. Well, that's something, huh? Well, I have to tell you more about it, so let me think where to start. Let's see. Well, I'll tell you how the golden chip first came into being. Well, it was during the making of a film that I was doing. I was in my senior year of college. I went to college in New York, Ithaca College, graduated in 1985, had a small class of about 10 or 11 people in our class, so we got really individualized attention from our professors, and they were very good professors, and I really loved them. And had great classmates critiquing the videos. But we didn't make videos. They didn't exist back then. We made films. And then it wasn't until several years after I graduated until videos started coming out. But then it was still impossible to edit the videos unless you were really tricky in the way you did it. And then it would be another 20 years after I graduated before YouTube came about and anyone could share the videos. But I remember in college, well, that's a whole nother story I'll tell you in about another time, about how our filmmaking expanded the world's viewership ability. Well, so about the golden ship, I started making a film in my senior college, and it was about a filmmaker who makes a film to bring a vision of paradise to Earth so that man could live in paradise. That was the idea of it. Well, that first took me out to California. I left on March 19th, 1986, and got there on my first day. It was very exciting getting in California. I was sitting before Gladstone's and having some fun down there on the first morning I got there. Gladstone's was a restaurant bar that was on the beach at the end of Sunset Boulevard. I think I saw Wilt Chamberlain there. I think he used to go there. Well, more about the golden ship now. So I was making the film, living on the beach, out of my car in California, on Pacific Coast Highway, trying to conceive of this new world that I was trying to birth, you know, a world of paradise. Well, that's come a far way from being. But the vision is a good vision. Well, let me tell you what happened. So I flew out to Maui with a couple of friends, my friends from the beach, and then we got there on December 6th, 1986. Wow, that was a long time ago. Almost 40 years, 39 years, over 39 years. Wow. So I was conceiving of the film, and the last portion of the film that I had written was this. I'll tell you what I said in the last line before I veered off track and kind of came up with the golden ship vision. Well, I said, "And when and how will mankind awaken from its infinite pleasures to face the coming of a new age?" So that's the answer I had to provide the answer for that in the film. Well, the golden ship vision. Well, it was on a fateful trip I took out to 7 sacred pools in Hana there in 1986. I took a trip out there, and then I believe something happened to me when I was sleeping there. I don't know what happened. Somehow I left. I just left, and I didn't know exactly when I got those visions of the golden ship, but after a long time it came back to me. It was that night that I went out to sleep in the grass field out in Hana at the 7 sacred pools, and I believe it was that night that I left and had the whole golden ship experience when I went on to a golden ship, and for crying out loud, it felt like I was gone forever, and it was only one night. But I did see an awful lot of things in that one night. Well, first of all, I was on the golden ship, and I couldn't remember how I got there. Like, I forgot my life on Earth. So I didn't know how I got from my life on Earth up to the golden ship. And I was there on that golden ship in the glory, the musical glory of God. Let me stress that. God's glory with the golden ship is a musical glory. Never-ending music, unlike anything you can ever listen to from like on Earth or anything, because the music is produced in a very, very, very big area. It's like, imagine a million musicians all playing together, or all in harmony. That's what it was like. And you can imagine how beautiful would that be. Can you imagine a golden ship surrounded by an infinite number of angels all playing music coming into our atmosphere? How cool that would be. That would make everybody happy, and it'd make everyone stop fighting, don't you say? I think so. Well, I don't think anyone's gonna want to go to work after a golden ship comes, and they can go out partying with the golden ship and not have to work. So they better hurry up with them robots. Take our place. People think, oh, there'll be unemployment. Well, there'll be golden ship to make us happy. Isn't that something? Well, more to the story. Well, you know, after that first experience when I had the vision, about a month later, I had painted a picture, I'll tell you that. I had painted a picture of the colorful bat. I'll have to explain that more about that in another later video. But I painted the colorful bat picture. And then I said, by this time I had been going up to the golden ship, going up the crater to watch wait for the golden ship to pick me up. So when I painted this picture, when I was walking out along the shoreline to make the hike up the crater, the golden ship went flying out into the air, right from the ocean level where there was an island out there in the background, and I saw it go whoop right up into the sky, and in the middle of the sky it just disappeared like that. And then someone else yelled, Hey everybody, did you see that golden ship? They didn't say golden ship, they said spaceship. Hey everyone, did you see that spaceship? And I yelled out, yo, that's my ship. And I went running up along the beach and up the crater and waited for it. Well, it didn't come, even though I saw it. I thought I was going to be picked up and transported into the glory of God. Well, it hasn't happened. And it hasn't happened yet. But there is one time I will get to later where something really cool happened with the golden ship. Two really cool things where it came about later in my life. Much later in my life. Well, so I kept making trips up the crater to go wait for the golden ship. I thought it would pick me up, but it never did. But I waited. So when I was waiting up there and nothing was coming in, I figured, well, I don't think the golden ship will come in unless I tell people about it. I mean, no one's going to know about it, and everyone's going to be confused about what the thing is doing here, or why it's there, or what it is, or anything like that. So I figured I had to let the word out about the golden ship. So I started writing some postcards about it. But let me back up. Before I wrote the postcards about it, I drew a picture of a ship that had come out of a movie screen and was in the air. And another picture, there were other images in it too. The other images put me in the place where I was on McKenna Beach in Maui, because it had a crater with, you know, red on top and bottom like it was a cinder cone or something, like it was a volcano. And then there was the image of a human figure lying on an inclined couch next to an angel, and then the ship came out of the screen. There was a movie screen and showing an image on a screen, but the ship came out of the screen in the picture. Well, that was the first place it appeared to my consciousness. Because remember, it's all about bringing the golden ship into consciousness. If you never heard of a golden ship before, well, I'm probably the first one telling you anything about it. There's not a golden ship mentioned in many places. Now, there's a song on YouTube, a couple of songs on YouTube that are titled Golden Ship. Two were made after I returned from Hawaii, and one was made back in the 1960s. So somehow, and that was from a Hawaiian guy named Eddie Peregrine, and he made a song called Golden Ship. You can see that on my YouTube channel. I posted it up. There's 3 of them there titled Golden Ship. The 3 people who made the songs about it. Well, now where am I? It gets hot over here. Well, you can imagine the commotion that caused back at home after I sent out all the postcards and things. Everyone was kind of like confused, I would say. They were confused. They didn't know anything about a golden ship or me being on it, or they must have thought I was going into a fairyland or something. Well, and let me tell you the main way that I realized there was a golden ship. Because I had someone gave me a picture they took of me and a little girl that I was friends with at the beach, and and then the sky was whited out. So I colored that picture that I drew over in California of the ship in the sky. Drew that on the where the white was on the photograph, and I sent it to Madonna. I kind of loved her a lot, so I sent her this postcard kind of thing that I made. And I made a poem on it, and it said, "Dear Madonna, do you hear you are of springtime fig leaves set forth, medium mother? How you gonna rule the world? It's gotta be strong to claim your title, and you're surely of the divine, though still without a sun to stand on the bow and sail through the mighty cracking of time." Well, after I mailed that out, that would have been I mailed it out before Valentine's Day. I sent it to her so it would arrive at Valentine's Day. I think I got in their dress somewhere. One of the businesses where she worked. Never heard back. I was probably lost. It was just a silly little thing. But it helped my consciousness form the idea that the golden ship was in the sky. And then when I came to see it fly, I was like, oh yeah, I did know somehow that it was in the sky. There was a spaceship. Wow. Well, and then after I hiked up the crater there, oh gee, I found the Coast Guard coming to the shoreline of the beach. And I'm wondering, oh geez. And then there were planes flying over my campsite, and I was like, oh no. What did I do to myself? Well, they never bothered me. Until one day I met this guy. I was up on the crater meditating at I call it Love Altar, because there was a rock in the center of the crater, a big boulder, that had the word love carved in it. So you see maybe why I took up carving love in stones after when I got home. You might have seen some of my pictures of those. Well, that's where I meditate for it, and a guy came down there and started telling me some kind of interesting things. He started talking about UFOs, and this is back in 1986, 87, and he must have had some kind of information, because he knew about Roswell, and not too many people knew about it back then, but he also said that, some of the technologies we have here on Earth come from crash UFOs that they recovered. And he did mention TVs and radios as being part of the inventions. I don't know if he was true or not, but that's what he said at the time anyway. Well, and then a helicopter, when the guy was there, came down like 20 feet over our head. Stayed there for 30 seconds. I wonder what the hell they were doing. Wow. But I used to go walking up the crater, hiking up the crater, to wait for that darn old golden ship more times than you could imagine. And not one first time when I saw it, never appeared after that again. But it only had to appear once before it became solid in my mind for me to know, yes, that there is a golden ship, and I somehow have a connection to it. Wow. Well, my friends kind of laughed at me. Kind of thought I was crazy. They said, there's no golden ship, it's all in your head. I don't think I met one person in my life, the last 40 years, that actually believed in the golden ship. Maybe one or two, but not too many. They all think it's a figment of my imagination. Well, that's okay. They can think that if they want. But I'm just trying to make people aware of it, make people conscious of the idea that there's a golden ship that's a spaceship. Because it's never going to appear unless people become conscious of it. Think how many of those UFO sightings. The UFOs are different than the golden ship. UFOs, somebody made those UFOs. Nobody made the golden ship. There was no construction crew building the golden ship. The golden ship was created by the Big Bang. It just appeared automatically at the beginning of time and said, here we are. That's what I know. So, and it's pretty hard to destroy something that was created with the force of the universe being born, don't you think? Wowee. That's something. And you certainly wouldn't want to shoot it down or blow it up. That would be the worst tragedy the universe could ever imagine. So that's something. Well, now after I sent out all those postcards to my friends, I didn't hear so much back from it, but I did send out a booklet I had made that contained my script I was writing, along with the copies of the postcards and things and pictures and things like that. I sent it to my department chair head back at college. Oh, that was a big mistake. It got me in a lot of trouble. Well, my parents called me and they wanted me to come home. They said I couldn't stay there in Maui anymore. They missed me too much and I had to come home. The rotten trick they played me when I came home. Know what they did? I had to go to a psychiatric hospital for 6 weeks and explain myself and get put on medicine. Oh my God, you think I needed medicine at that time? Maybe, but I didn't think so. Their medicine didn't do anything to stop me believing in the golden ship. Wow. Still take the medicine to this day. It doesn't stop me from believing in the golden ship. It just makes me so I don't get a headache. Wow, me. Wow. Was never able to talk about that golden ship to anyone. No one wanted to hear it. They said, oh, shut up. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, we don't want to hear it. You're having delusions. They all said, oh, I'm delusional. I'm delusional because I had an extraordinary experience. Well, man. Wow, man. And you think I could carry on a career with the mission that's been placed in my hands by the Lord? Tell the people of the golden ship so we can get this earth moving to another reality, a reality without wars, without guns, with peace in everyone's heart. That's what the golden ship is here to bring. Because let me tell you something, when that golden ship gets in the environment with all its musical angels, it's not going to be anyone want to go to war. You're going to all want to go have a party, and it's a good thing you got your robots being made, because they're going to need to take over your work.